Good morning. We are working on Christian coaching, life coaching, and this is for coaching the helping relationship. So, um, coach and coaches, help givers and help receivers. The relationship is very important. Relationship is important in almost all areas. You and your partner, you and your kids, you and your parents, you and your pastor, you and your, belongings, even. Even though they don't breathe, the relationship is very important. If you care, they're gonna work right. Okay? So relationship is very important in every place, in all over the places. And the coach is helping people, so the relationship between the coach and the people, the clients, so crucial. If you don't like your music teacher, there's no way you're gonna practice your music. Because you don't like your music teacher, you're not gonna like your music. You're not gonna enjoy your music. Whether that is playing piano or voice or whatever, right? So the relationship is that important between coach and the clients. So we want to just take a look at the relationship. I want to just borrow some knowledge from Howard Morgan. Title is Creating a Powerful Coachee Relationship. Okay? The setting the ground rule is not process of negotiation, but one of the clarification. The coach is in charge and upfront. Ground rules will cover most of the following key areas. Excuse me. Confidentiality, expectations, and commitments. The confidentiality is pretty important. Between coaching and clients, you can call coachee, but it's kind of complicated. So I want to just use coaching and the client at this moment. When you read coachee and coachees, there is no problem. But when I just talk to you, some people are gonna get confused, coachee or coachees, something. Okay, so I'm gonna just call them coachee and clients. Well, if you have any problem and you just meet your counselor, so you open everything about your mother, okay? Let's say your mother. But right after that, you heard something. Somebody asked you about your mother in a couple of days, and the person, whether that is your friends or just normal people, what if those people are just asking you about your mother and talk about your mother? That's exactly what you shared with your counselor. Apparently your counselor just opened that story to others. Can you trust your counselor? Can you just open more your mind and heart to the counselor? No way. No one can do it. No one can do it. I would not do that. I'm gonna ignore and I'm gonna just leave the counselor. Or I'm gonna just, challenge to the counselor. Because counselors are not supposed to do that. They are supposed to keep the confidentiality, right? And all the secrets. It can make people upset and angry. Why not? Because somebody leaked the confidential stories about your mom. So it is quite important that coaches, you want to have the people, you want to keep the confidentiality. And people are expecting something good and better from their coaches and counselors. That's why they are paying their money and time to meet their coaches and counselors. Okay? If not, it's gonna be, there's no reason, people pay, their money and time for coaching and counseling services. No. So they expect something good. They expect something better. Okay? And then coaches and the clients, both parties have to commit to the coaching relationship so they can make the better result and the best product, and the most productive things from the coaching relationship. And reporting relationships, methods of information gathering, the way objectives will be agreed upon and measured, how progress will be monitored, frequency of contact, how, why, and when the engagement will come to an end. So we want to just take a look one by one, because we want to know and understand what's going to be the relationships. Okay. The number one is confidentiality, expectations, and commitments. I mentioned already, but I want to just let's read it together. Why trust is a feeling and a bond, confidentiality is more of a contractual agreement. Yes. If you don't trust somebody, you just submit, you're not going to open your heart. Okay? So the trust is a feeling and a bond. You and me, coach and clients. Then they can make good results. It's going to be a productive meeting and relationship. Over time, it can serve as one of the pillars of trust. Yes, trust. You opened your story to your coach, and your coach is keeping that, secret and safe, and only talking to you. And then you can trust the coach, and then you can talk more. Over time, you can serve as one of the pillars of trust, but in the beginning of the relationship, confidentiality is about establishing expectations and the lines or boundaries of communication. Okay? Because the more secrets, the more personal things you just shared with your coaches, those are making boundaries and expectations. Right? Confidentiality between coach and coachee is inviolable. Okay? Inviolable. No matter who is paying the bill. For the relationship to be effective, the coachee must be able to honestly discuss personal feelings, concerns, and attitudes that can encompass a broad range of subjects, including the coachee's superiors, peers, reports, and even family, as well as the organization and its strategy. Okay. So for the relationship to be effective, the coach must be able to honestly discuss personal feelings. Yes, that is crucial. So the coach can understand what's really going on. Okay. All right. So that is important. So safety. Do you really trust the person? Do you really can open your hearts? So those are very crucial. So you can just share whatever you want, and then the more coaches can understand what's going on to the coachee, the clients, the more the coaches can support those people. Okay, unless so their helping relationships can be limited, which is no good. Okay. All right. The second one is reporting relationships. Strict confidentiality does not mean that the coachee's progress is never discussed outside of that relationship. Well, it can be risky. Okay, let's read it more. But it does mean that what gets discussed, when and with who, is clearly determined and consistently followed. Okay. The confidentiality between the coach and the client is very crucial. It has to be kept. But the progress can be discussed. Not only between the coach and client, but the coach can share that with the coach's supervisor also, so that they can measure and think and find the better ways if there is any better ways. Okay. So the goal of the engagement is not to make the coachee happy, but to provide value to the organization. Okay. So coaches are not there for pleasing the clients only. Sometimes coaches have to push and challenge their clients so that they can understand what's going on and they can choose what they have to do, and they take responsibilities on that. Okay? Coaches are not there for, okay, what do you think? What do you want to do? Do whatever you want. Okay, that is your outcome. You take it, responsibility, take responsibilities on it. That's it. It's not coaching. It's not what coaches do. Okay? The goal of the engagement is not to make the coachee happy, but to provide value to the organization. Whoever is paying the coach is the client who is paying clients. While confidentiality needs to be respected, the line of command and the flow of communication must be clear. Okay? I know you make decisions, you make choices, and you take responsibilities on it, and I'm keeping the confidentiality. Okay, everything is okay, but the why outcome is important too. The communication must be clear. So the coaches have to understand what's going on. They have to listen to it, listen to their clients, and the clients have to tell, clearly and thoroughly to their coaches, so they there are no obstacles between coaches and clients. They have to communicate clearly so that they can find the better solutions. Okay. Um, and there, there should be one point of contact in that information flow, ideally the coach's boss or someone even higher in the same line to command. Once this contact is decided upon, the coach's progress should not be discussed or broadcast beyond that person. Okay. Well, so when the coaches have to inform their clients that coaches can discuss the performance and process sometimes and outcomes and progress to their supervisor so that they can help better to their clients. It can be opened and that can be acceptable. But as long as all people have to keep the confidentiality. And there is no reason the clients to refuse that proposal and the information at all, because they think they can get better services, better coaching. Okay? Information gathering. In an organization, for example, whether they are non-profit or for-profit, the entry-level people have their own supervisor, and those supervisors have their own supervisors, and it's kind of a pyramid-like. So the CEO takes all the responsibilities, but at the same time, the CEO cannot supervise all people, like 20s, 50s, 100s. So they're gonna have supervisors, in detailed divisions, and your supervisors are gonna share what's going on in your team or department with the upper level of the supervisors. Okay, and that's natural, and that's all what we do actually. Almost all organizations and systems have that kind of structures. There's no more. So sharing with the supervisors are crucial. Okay. What if your supervisor can be wrong? Yes, they can be wrong. But there is another secure system, which means your supervisor has their supervisors, so they can work with your supervisor. It can lessen the mistakes your supervisors can make, which is great, right? Information gathering is quite important. Another aspect of coaching that may be unsettling to the coachee is how much information the coach will be gathering and how he or she will be gathering it. Unfortunately, the coach cannot learn everything he or she needs to know by talking to the coachee alone. That data provides only part of the picture, since the coachee's knowledge may be limited and his or her point of view is personally biased. Okay. even though you open your hearts and so you just talk to your coach everything you know, what if you miss some points you have to talk to your coach? In most cases, clients miss some information. Even though they want, even though they want to talk to their coaches, everything they want to know, so that they can, best, they can get best help. But what if they don't know? They can miss, and then coaches have to see and understand, and they have to read between the lines too. So they can stop there and pause there, and then they can ask more questions about it. By asking questions and answering and getting answering from their clients, they can find the missed point, the missing links. So they can just slowly but thoroughly, they can just make a solid knowledge about their clients. Even though their clients didn't understand what they were missing, but the coaches, when you have skilled coaches, they want to just ask questions, and then they can collect more information out of their clients. So the more information they can get, they can find that the more options and better solutions, and the better ways they can help people, their clients. Okay. To gather critical information, a coach must understand the coach's environment and interpersonal relationships to whatever extent the objectives that it dictate. There are a number of approaches or techniques that coaches use, each with its own limitations and advantages. Yes, there are many ways that coaches can get information. Why coaches are eager to get more information in detail? Because they have to know it. Unless they cannot help their clients better. That's the only way. Okay. So what kind of tools they have for gathering the information? Survey. To gauge the climate of the organization or assess the impact of a strategy or change initiative. It's a survey. They want to just ask questions. They try to know more, and so survey is very important. The next one is a 360-degree feedback survey. What is that? To assess the coachee from the perspective of superiors, reports, peers, and even customers. So they want to collect more information from the superiors, reports, peers, and customers. Nowadays, lots of organizations, even markets, online markets or offline markets, whenever you buy something, they're gonna send you an email for survey. How much did you satisfied with the service? How much did you satisfied with the things you bought? How much you satisfied with the customer service? How much are you satisfied with the online system? There's so many stars from 1 to 5, and even they ask you, you to write something about that. I traveled with my family to other states for visiting my son, and we had a great time together, and I booked that trip online. Was a kind of package deal. I don't know if that was a really nice deal or not, but I didn't want to just make a deal with the plane separately, rental car separately, hotel separately. So I just got a package deal. I'm not sure if that was really cheaper than separate deals or not. I'm feeling it was not. I don't know. But anyways, after that, right after I left the hotel sent me a survey email. Right after I returned the rental car at the airport, the rental car company just sent me an email to me right away for surveying. As soon as I got landed in LAX, the airline company, American Airlines, sent me the survey email. Even the parking garage, because I just parked my car in a parking garage near LAX, and they even asked me how much I satisfied with the service and environment in the parking lot. Oh my goodness! How many surveys I answered? Nothing, because I'm lazy. I don't want to just answer to those questions and start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something. Oh my goodness! No. I don't like that much. But if I get angry, if I don't really satisfied with it, if I satisfied with something really good, and I answer to the surveys, but in general, I don't want to just answer to the surveys because it takes a long time. And I was expecting that there are just 2 or couple of occasions, but there are more occasions after that, Because all companies, they are eager to get more information, more feedbacks from their clients, because they want to develop better services. They want to just evaluate, their contract with their contractors, because they want to just evaluate their employees, staffs. So there are so many things. Interviewing, that is more, serious. Interviewing is similar to 360 feedback, except the coach will spend time personally with superiors, reports, colleagues, etc., discussing the coachee and his or her challenges confidentially. Okay? So interviewing is one of the options they can see what's really happening. What about the internal source? With permission, the coach works closely with 1 or 2 key stakeholders who know the coachee very well. So maybe they can just talk with their, the client's parents, client's best friend, client's family so that they can have more serious and it's kind of in-depth, okay? But that is also called the internal source. I think by doing so, the coach can get more accurate and information about the clients from the third party, but very close to the clients. Shadowing is not spying game, okay? But shadowing is this: the coach follows the client through daily assignments in team settings during key meetings, etc., observing how the client works, how that impacts others, the dynamics involved, information exchange, the power relationships, etc., similar to the participant observation. Data gathering techniques of anthropology. Well, in anthropology, one of my friend's son is graduating, studying the anthropology recently, and so if you want to understand the one person, you are not spying on the person, but you are shadowing. You are just following the person in a certain distance, and you can just observe what your clients is doing. Yes, your clients know that you are shadowing, but they trying their best to be normal and just do the same thing what they usually do. And then by doing so, you can watch your clients at the same time, the relationship between your clients and your clients' people, and you can just think about and see the others' reactions toward your clients. That is also called shadowing. That's what anthropology uses much. And then you can get clear ideas, what's going on, your clients and on your clients' people, your clients are meeting you. That is a very close observation. Monitoring output. Used when text and deliverables are good gauges of the coach's current performance and progress. Monitoring output. Okay. Those are for gathering information. Okay. So the gathering information is pretty crucial. So you can choose, some skills, some options. You don't have to choose everything. You don't have to try everything. Okay, everything, but I think it depends on the clients. Well, it can be very hard for you to shadowing. Maybe your clients can refuse you to shadowing, right? Because they want to just keep their personal lives secure. Then they're not going to allow you to shadow those person. Okay? And depends on the contract you have with your clients on the coaching service. Right? All right. Making judgments, settle objectives, and monitoring progress. Making judgments. The coach must be careful not to apply all the data to the coachee unreservedly. Okay? Some of it may not be true. Yes. There can be wrong information, right? There can be biased opinions on your clients, and your clients can have biased observations, biased ideas. Okay? So some of it may not be true, yes. Some of it may not be relevant. Some of it may be relevant but not significant in meeting what are shaping up to be the key objectives. So we can collect lots of data and information from all over the places, but we have to see and think whether that information is right or wrong, or risk to use it and very safe to use it. How to decide, whether that information is right or wrong, or good enough or not? Well, the more information you gather, you will see some information is not trustworthy at all. Okay? Because the more data you have, if you have only one data, it's going to be hard to say whether that data is right or wrong. Because that is a 100% gain. But what if you have 10 data, okay? And then you can see those data are working together, but this one is not quite different with others, and you're not gonna trust this data and information. Okay? And then this is only 10% out of 100. But what if you have only one data? Well, it doesn't happen, but you can see. And then you can see, if you have many data, a lot of data, then you can just pick some data you cannot trust. The coach overlays his or her own expertise on the data by looking for clues, echoes, and patterns. That is very important. The coach overlays his or her own expertise on the data by looking for clues, echoes, and patterns. As the coach begins to grasp what the issues are, he or she reframes them for others to respond to or push back on, adjust them as required, and secures alignment. The coach brings structure, thoughts, experience, instinct, and knowledge to shape the information and focus it on a reduced number of significant objectives that are worth accomplishing. So, how to categorize what you got? And how to sort out the data you got? Okay? You can collect close data together about the behaviors of your clients and what to do before their duty, what they usually do after their duty. Okay, and what they, whom they meet with before the job duty, after the job duty, and those things can be categorized as one, which is related with your client's working environment. And you got lots of information and data from on your client's work, and then you can see some data is wrong and why, and valuable, useless, and that's how we can work on the data. So the coach brings structure. So by you got some information on this, you got some information on your clients, the house, the behaviors and feelings in the house and churches and on those public areas, and you can structure-wise those things. So you want to just play with it, you can just structuralize it, and you can categorize some thoughts and experience and instinct and knowledge, so many other behaviors, and then by doing so, you can not only collect the information, and you can structuralize, categorize, and structuralize those information, and you can have a better understanding for your clients. You can see the differences when your clients are working and resting, when they got angry, when they are peaceful, and you can get lots of things from that. All right. What about? Sorry, let me see. What about creating lasting impact? I mean, before we move on to the next, by doing so, you can set objectives. Oh, how now, because you collect all the information and you just categorize it, you made a structure for the solid understanding on your clients, and then you can see and set some objectives. Oh, you can make your own plan to help your clients, because you just got pretty much information about all you need for your clients, and you can get ready for that. Okay. And creating lasting impact is this: building trust. How you're gonna create the long-term and lasting, long-lasting impact. How you can help your clients well in better ways. Okay. First is building trust. Well, I already mentioned about this. Building trust is important, so I want to just really quickly and pass it. Trust is both a foundation and an outcome of the coaching partnership. Yes, in best practice, coaches are able to create the foundation of trust from the outset by the end of the first meeting. Well, that's what's called a rapport. So you want to just build a good relationship with your clients at first. So Well, I lost it. Where is it? I lost it. So you can have what is this? I lost the screen, so let me try that again. I think it's gonna be alright. Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back. Well, hopefully I can get the screen. Yay! Alrighty. Alrighty. And best practice coaches are able to create the foundation of trust from the outset by the end of the first meeting. So first impression is quite important. When you lose any trust, well, at the first meeting, how you can build good, good and solid trust after that. So first impression is very important. How to change the first impression. So people usually talk about the first impression. When I saw you first, I thought you were a jerk. You are not smart, or I thought you were smart, or something like that, right? Managing the dynamic. The first one is building trust and managing the dynamic. Managing what the dynamic. Whether the coaching objectives are directed towards strategy, personal leadership, transitions or organizational change. At least 75% of that coaching is focused on the human dynamic over the more technical aspects of the challenge. In order to meet the coaching objectives in the desired time frame, the coach must be able to skillfully manage that dynamic, allowing the coachee to learn, grow, and succeed at an optimal rate. This growth takes place at the very edge of the coachee's comfort zone, where creative possibility is just within reach. Okay. Human dynamic. So that because that is so crucial, you want to just manage the dynamic, the human dynamic. So building trust and human dynamic is so crucial. As an example, a manager who is not assertive enough or who is too risk averse need to do this. Understand the context in which that behavior occurs. Understand the context in which that behavior occurs. So, when you meet your person you like, your facial expressions, your body expressions is quite different with when you meet a person you don't like. And in a certain place, people got nervous more. In a certain environment, people got more nervous and frustrated. Well, I have no problem when I sit in the first or second row. When I used to take classes, but when I just take some other classes, I don't want to just sit in the front because I don't like it. I didn't like those professors or teachers. I usually sit in the back or sit in the side. Okay, because teachers or professors usually see in the front, middle, most, the most. So I used to see on the side or in the back. Okay. When you were asked to present something, you got nervous and you got frustrated and you don't like it. Yeah. So it depends on the context. You can do this and that. So we want to know what context makes your clients, act differently. Have the behavior pointed out when they demonstrate. Have the behavior pointed out when they demonstrate. Be trained to have an alternative behavior available to them for future occasions. It was kind of awkward reading, right? So I want to just read it again. Be trained to have an alternative behavior available to them for future occasions. So when you got used to a certain reaction, in most cases you don't think about other options. But coaches can, suggest some other options to their clients so that they can, choose some other, options. Okay? And be encouraged to continue practicing the behavior even when it feels awkward or meets with less than spectacular success. If you change one behavior and action, and it can change drastic results, that can be happen. But changing one or two or other behaviors in a certain condition is not that easy. And changing the behavior means courage and intentionality. If you don't choose some other option intentionally, it takes energy. Because you choose your food whenever you just put some food in your mouth, but you don't think. You don't make decisions that I'm gonna chew 30 times at this time. And you count 30 times. And you count 30, right? And it takes energy. Because that is intentional behavior. It's not natural. I usually don't count how much times I chew, certain food. When I got a meat, I'm gonna choose 100 times. When I got noodle, I'm gonna chew 10 times. I don't count it. I don't think about it. But I just chew whatever I have in my mouth. But intentional behavior takes energy and time. You have to count it, you have to think it, you have to decide it. Unless you're not going to change any behavior. So intentional work is very important. You have to do something intentionally. And you have to understand it takes time, energy, calories, expenses, okay? Is that be encouraged to continue practicing that behavior even when it feels awkward, yes, or meets with less than spectacular success. Become a natural and skilled user of that learned behavior over time. Now you learned something and you want to just keep going and you just keep practicing. You just learn something better Okay? But you don't practice it, and you're gonna lose it. You can learn other foreign languages, but you understand that all, but you don't practice it, you're gonna lose it. I used to learn Germany. German language. Deutschland is Germany. Deutsche, it's language, I think. And I forgot most of it. Ich bin, du bist, eine. Der Rest then the I just forgot many other things. Can I speak any Deutsch? Any Deutsch? Ich brauche Hilfe bitte. That's it. Can I have your help? That's it. Wie viel kostet das? How much is this? That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. And that's it. You wanna learn. When I learned Deutsch, I had to learn that intentionally. I had to focus on it. But I haven't practiced that for a long time, so I just forget most of it. You just, practice, you just learn the behavior you need to do for your better life, but you don't practice it. That's it, useless, waste of time and energy, so you have to practice it. Unless you're gonna just forget it. The last thing is that sustainable success. How we can create lasting impact. Okay? Sustainable success. Success is measured by how well the coachee performs with the coaches and coach's direct help. It must be judged by how well the coachee performs after the coach has left the scene. If the coach has truly done the job, the coachee will have the capabilities and tools to succeed independently. Alright, do you think Tiger Woods has golf coach? Yes. How many? Putting coach? Swing coach? Maybe. I have no idea actually, but I'm pretty sure that Tiger Woods has golf coach. So I'm hoping that Tiger Woods will come back to the green, so people can see, so I can see his swing, his beautiful swing, his strong mentality, and his strategy to for the golfing, because at the par 3, do you think golfers can have a strategy for playing par 3 hole? Why not? Because what if a green has different level, and what if there is a bunker this side? I'm not gonna just hit the ball to this area, but this way, because the bunker shot can be stressful for me, rather than I can play on the rough. But depends on the rough too. Excuse me. What if the rough is too thick? Then I'd rather hit the ball this way. So bunker can be safer than the rough. Okay. So even at par 3 hole, golfers can have different strategies. You wanna avoid the bunker and rough. Why don't I just hit a little bit longer so you can stay here or there to avoid the bunker and rough? This is a good idea, right? The best strategy is to put the ball in one in the hole, but it's not gonna be happen often. Maybe it can be happened once in a life, right? So we all have strategies. We all have strategies. But the problem is that even though tigers can swim better and putting better and make a plan better, set the strategy better with his coach, do you think a coach can be with tigers when tigers play the game? Then the coach gonna just carry the bag? Maybe. But the coaches don't usually carry the bag because they are coaches, not caddies. Then what is really important? Tiger is supposed to play the golf well without the coach on the field. Same thing. Our parents are there, but they cannot stay with us forever. Our kids gonna go to school and they, have their own lives. We cannot be there. We cannot be with them always. 24 hours, 7 days, no ways. Then what? You just learn something, and your clients learn something, and they understand what's going on. They understand what they are supposed to do. They understood how they want to just practice it, and they learned almost everything. But they have to know what they and how they keep the learning the things and show their performance without coaches. For that, they have to focus on the learning, focus on they learned from their coaches, focus on they decided, they practiced intentionally. That's how they can sustain their success. Okay? So that is quite important. We can learn, we can practice, but we have to keep something what we learned already secure. Okay, I think that's all for today. So I want to just see you next week. Thank you. Just remember what we learned of today. Okay, thank you.